And today we're going to talk about chapters 1 to 5 in Where the Red Fern Grows by Wilson Ross. This is just an amazing book. Yeah, I just love this amazing classic. And yeah, I just love this book, and I hope that you also love this book because, you know, I love this book, okay? And so, let's just dive right in, okay? Now, in chapter 1, so have you ever had like a day when everything is perfect, like nothing is wrong, or have you never had that day? At times, I guess, yeah, maybe, yeah. Sometimes everything is perfect. At times, when you see a dog fight, what do you try to do about it? Like, do you try to stop it, or do you try to get away from it? Like, how do you react to a dog fight? Even if you've never actually seen one, like, what would you do? Well, I've never actually seen one, luckily. But if there was one, I would try to break it up, try to get the owners, or you know, at least save the dog or something. Okay. Okay, but anyway, have you ever had times when like one thing just sets off all these memories? Have you ever had that experience? And if that didn't, do you think that there is one thing that might make you think of something, like even if you've never actually done it? Now, so if you had been the man, then what would you have thought? What would you have thought that this dog had come from? Like where? Well, he probably was a stray, and he was trying to survive. That would be what I would think. But he looks like he's from the country, so maybe I would think of the country too. Okay. So I'm gonna read a paragraph, okay? I didn't have to let him go. I could keep him in my backyard, but to pet up a dog like that is a sin. It would have broken his heart. That the will to live would have slowly left his body. Do you think that's actually true? And since the dog is now free, do you think that's gonna be much happier than if he had been trapped in a backyard? And if you had been a dog, how would you have felt if you had just been trapped in a backyard? And would you even have the will to live, really? No, right? And I'm pretty sure that the dog is going to be really happy when he reaches where he wants to get to. Okay, and do you think that this dog even has a home, or do you think that he just runs around? What do you think? I'm pretty sure that he has a home, you know? But I'm not very sure. But I'm pretty sure. Okay, now the person, the main character, he has this flashback, right? And now he began to remember everything. And so, do you think that, and then so up to chapter 5, is all flashback, right? So do you think that the whole book really is going to be a flashback, or do you think that a few chapters, like the old man, not Billy, you know, like not young Billy, but old Billy, old Billy's going to interrupt? What do you think? Okay, now chapter 2. So have you ever had a time when you wanted a puppy so much? The author here nailed me immediately, like nailed me. I wanted a puppy at times, I wanted a cat at times, I wanted a guinea pig at times, I wanted a hamster at times, I wanted fish at times. I wanted a bird at times. Yeah, so yeah, I have a puppy lab before. Okay, but anyway, so do you think that that Billy's being too selfish and like he's a little too greedy and spoiled up here. But if you had been Billy, like, do you think that you could have even helped it? I didn't think that Billy could really help it, right? He just wanted a puppy so much, a dog. 2 dogs, I mean. And how do you think that he's gonna get this? I already was beginning to think maybe he was gonna have to save up or something. Do you think that the Ozark, would you have wanted to live in the Ozark Mountains? I would have definitely wanted to live there because I like nature. And so, this is the perfect place for Billy to grow up, right? And and this is also the perfect place for our story. Do you think that's a very perfect place in your opinion? Like, where do you like most stories to take place in? You guessed it, nature. Like, I don't know, maybe people live in nature or whatever, but I just like nature. And check out some nature books like My Side of the Mountain, amazing book, or Hatchet, amazing book, and a lot of other books, okay? And remember, Hatchet, I think that Hatchet also has a series, so check all of those out. Okay, so, Billy begins to get thin. He just wants a dog so much, right? Have you ever wanted something that badly, even if it wasn't like a dog or a pet, but really just anything? No. I mean, like, at times I'm like, oh, I want this so much, but I don't like actually lose weight and and even at times, like, if I don't get something, I don't cry. Like if I do cry, then I only cry once. But, Billy says he loves the dog so much. And I've never had that kind of experience before, but I can imagine how he feels, right? And so, do you think that, why do you think that, Billy will want 2 coon hounds, not two coon hounds. Coon hunting hounds, or just hounds, right? And do you think that he's ever going to get this or not? Well, I think that he's gonna get it because on the cover, right? And besides, I mean, like, the book cannot go on without Billy getting a dog, it just can't. And so, and also again, do you think that Billy's being too selfish? He doesn't want any kind of dogs. He wants hounds, right? And and during times when times are bad, right? There isn't a lot of money. And so, if you have Billy, how would you have tried to make this right? I would save money so that I could maybe help, or Billy, or I could just be like, what about 1 coon? One coon, 1 hound, like how Billy does. Those 2 things I would have done, But anyway, so, do you think that 3 steel traps are anything to be happy over? Well, Billy is really happy. Would you be happy if somebody gave you 3 steel traps? Well, I live in the city, and no offense to cities, but I would prefer to live in nature, but for right now I'm stuck here. And there's absolutely nothing, except if you count random birds, lizards, etc. And then a few coyotes. That's all. So I don't really have anything to hunt. And yeah, but still in the Ozarks, lots, right? And so, do you think that because of this, like, Billy will stop this that the dog disease will just fade away, or do you think it's gonna be there? Well, it's gonna be here, right? And Sammy, do you think that, if Sammy just didn't poke around, do you think that Sammy could have been okay? Yeah, right? So, in the end, do you think that it was Billy's fault about Sammy getting hurt, or Sammy's fault? Probably Sammy, right? Okay, but anyway, so also, coons, right? Billy just cannot get these coons, and even steel traps don't work. What do you think might work? Dogs, right? But he just can't get any dogs. So So do you think that the coon actually stuck a stick into the trap, or do you think they're not that smart? What do you think? I actually think that a coon did that. Okay, but anyway, another thing I wanted to talk about was, do you think that Billy's ever gonna get old Mr. Ringtail without coons? I mean, without hounds. Sorry, why am I saying coons and hounds? Oh my gosh. But yeah, I mean, without hounds? Probably not, right? But anyway, so at times, like, do you think that Billy's now too selfish? Because even though he's got 3 steel traps, he wants more? Or do you understand? And like, do new toys for you, like, wear off or not? They do. I mean, they do. I have to say that, they do. Do you think that a wolf would stop you from going or not? I would definitely not go out. And like, if Billy had actually gone out, what are a few things that might have happened to him? Well, he might have survived, but I can just imagine him running from a pack of wolves. So now, yeah, I think it was a smart thing to do to just wait, right? If someone had the thing that you wanted so much and they were just outside all night, you know, how would you have felt? And you can use a few words to describe how you feel, or a simile, okay? And I'm gonna use a simile, so it will be like this. I felt as if someone was taunting me with about $1 million, you know? He's angry and jealous and, you know, mad and annoyed and all that, right? Now, so do you think that helping somebody out in the farm is a wonderful thing to do or not? Would you like to help somebody out in the farm? I mean, I guess it means that you're becoming a man, but I do not like work. I like to do this. And I just like to read. And, you know, I'm that kind of person. I'm not a person who wants to go out at dawn and begin to hoe, okay? So if I want that, that's gonna be pretty rare. Yeah. I like I like gardening, but I just don't like to become a farmer hoeing in the day. No, thank you. I'll just read. Now, chapter 3. So, like, have you ever had something like when you can't get something, it's just sort of like an ache in your heart? Have you ever had that before? At times, I guess. Now we see the red bone coon hound pups, right? And did you think that Billy was gonna get those? I knew it. Like, I just felt it in my heart, you know? So, now the thing is, Billy begins to earn money, right? And do you think that this, like, how much money do you think that he's gonna get? A lot of money or not? Do you think? Do you think that the old KC baking powder can is a very good place to put all your money? I think so, right? And, you know, now in the end, he spent 2 years doing this, right? He spent 2 years for dogs. 2 years! Would you have had that much grit? And like, do you think that you would have been able to stand 2 years? I mean, 2 years, people. If I had been 2 years older here, I would have been, if I started earning right now, then I would have been 11 years old by the time I got a dog. Wild. Do you think that you could have managed to do all that? I couldn't, right? So, do you think that, you know, Billy here, right? Do you think that Billy is ever going to get, like, if it had been Billy, do you think that Billy at times sort of thought, when am I ever gonna get $50? Do you think so? He probably did, right? And so, Billy worked really hard for these coons, right? I just said it again. Coons. Oh, silly Jaden. Hounds. Hounds, coons, hounds, coons, hounds, 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 hounds. Okay, but anyway, so, and these hounds, they must be really important to, to Billy. And if Billy couldn't get these hounds, like, what would be the, in your opinion, like, what is the hounds to Billy? Not just hounds, something more important, right? Something bigger, like, to you, what would the hounds be? I think Billy sort of thinks like hounds really precious, like gems and emeralds and stuff, right? To you, how much would hounds be? I mean, like, no, really, now think of how much Billy likes the hounds, and have you ever liked something that much as much as how much Billy loves the hounds? Well, there's of course my parents, but I love them more than hounds. Yeah, and I guess, I really like my house. I'm not kidding, I really like it. Yeah. I can think of more. I already formed a list about 20 things, so I don't want to go on and on. Okay, but anyway, so, like, if you have a grandfather, how'd you felt about your grandson earning all this for 2 years? Like, what would you have done immediately? I would be immediately like, son, you need to get these dogs, right? And, like, what do you think really sparked grandfather? Like, he got the closest he ever got to cursing, right? And so, right, like, why do you think that the 2 years sort of sparked him off, and made him sort of stronger here? Probably because 2 whole years, right? You're like, if my grandson doesn't get these hounds, then I'll die with him, Because, like, he had earned 2 years. He couldn't just stop right now, right? So, do you think that this, like, have you ever waited for something, but it just never seems to come, like what's happening to Billy? Yeah, me too. So now we learn that the dogs are on their way, right? And, like, how did you feel? You're the reader, but how did you feel? You know what you can do? Words to describe how you feel? Simile. I'm actually going to use a few words to describe how I feel, but I'm just going to use about 2, okay? 1, I felt fantastic. And 2, I don't know, but I like similes better, okay? So I'm going to do 1 word and 1 simile. Simile. I felt as if the book had given me $1 million. So I really like this part. I was like, thanks, book, for giving something me nice, Not just $1 million, but just the story itself, right? Do you think that's a good idea to go and get the hounds, like just run away and get the hounds? Do you think it's a good idea? And do you think that your parents would have approved? My parents would have, like, been so angry at me. I would not go, and so, yeah, I don't think so. My parents would have definitely not approved. I'm pretty sure that your parents probably wouldn't either. Do you like these stories when, like, all the main characters in the wild and he has to survive, or are you the kind of person who likes cities? How are you? I like stories when people, survival stories. And do you think that, right? Do you think that the town is very welcoming to Billy? And if you have been Billy, so let's just pretend that, okay, before that, okay. One thing I wanted to talk about was, Billy doesn't actually buy anything for himself. He buys everything for his family, right? And if you had been Billy, would you have at least bought, like, 1 pair of shoes or some candy for yourself? Or would you have just kept on going? And also, do you think that Billy looks strange, when he looks at himself? Like, do you think that he looks strange or something? I don't think so, right? But anyway, so like, why do you think that if you have been one of the townspeople, would you have thought a little strange of him? I would have, you know. No offense to him, I'm just saying maybe. But I would not like express it. I would just be like, hey, I would try to act normal. Okay. One thing I wanted to talk about was about this. You know, everybody was playing, and do you think that Billy sort of felt left out here? I'm pretty sure that he did, right? And also, let's just go back. Do you think that Billy needs shoes? And like, without shoes, do you think that you would be able to survive? Well, without shoes, it would be pretty hard for me. My feet are soft and tender, and like rocks, my feet would die. Well, yeah, at times I stepped on some things really sharp. Yeah, it does not feel good. So everybody lines up though and goes inside, and Billy wants to go on to that slide, right? Did you think that, how far did you think that Billy was gonna go? I thought pretty far, right? Anyway, Billy, I'm pretty sure went the farthest, but he also got the most hurt, right? And do you think that the old lady should have left here? No, right? And if you had been Billy, how would you have reacted to that? I would have just walked off, you know? But I would say, stop it first, you know? I mean, I'm never gonna meet that old lady again, so who cares? And even if I do meet her again, she's probably gonna forget it. But anyway, so, have you ever had a moment when you hurt so much, like Billy did here? Well, I've sprained my ankle twice. Those are all, yeah. Sprained ankle twice. What do you think that old lady should have done? Maybe try to check with Billy to see if he's okay. That is what she should have actually done, right? And do you think that the town really accepts foreigners and people from other places and people who look a little strange? No, right? And do you think that now one thing I wanted to talk about was, you know, Billy, right? And do you think that so far things are going right for Billy here? No. And do you think it's gonna get any better or not? Hopefully better, but I'm not very sure here. Now, chapter 5. So, like after 2 years of saving, like would your nerve, you know, like fall because you were so terrified after everything, or would you just rush it? I would just stand down and be like, I would be so excited I just couldn't go in, and then I would just rush right in. I would be that. I'm that kind of person. You know? And now, and then they see the beautiful dogs, right? And would you, if you had been just a normal boy, okay? Or if you had been Billy, would you have wanted those dogs? I would have immediately wanted those dogs. Yeah, I would love those dogs. So also, do you think that these dogs, right? Do you think that these dogs, even though they're really small, do you think that they are actually going to become really fierce, awesome hunting dogs soon? I think so, right? And so, one thing I wanted to talk about was, you know, these 2 little cute puppies. Do you think they're ever gonna grow up? You know, and do you think that everything that Billy did, do you think that it was worth it? I think that it definitely was worth it. Yeah, definitely. So, the thing is, you know, everybody's teasing Billy again, right? And if you have been Billy, and all these boys, these mean boys, right, are poking fun at him and actually they're beginning to fight. If you have been Billy, would you have fought back or would you have just hid? You know, so the thing is, Billy says this, okay? In a loud voice, okay, I'm gonna read these, okay, it's this. In a loud voice, I said, you may have these people fooled with those expensive looking feathers in your hats, but I know what they are. They're goose feathers painted with outline, right? And after that, do you think that those old ladies are gonna bother Billy anymore? Hopefully not. I don't think so. You know, if you could have written this story differently at this point, how would you have written it? Because, you know, like Billy, he fights a lot. Like, how would you have written it? Maybe, I would have kept it the same though. I love it, but I was just really curious. Okay, so do you think that this fight, like at first it's going Billy's way? Did you think that it was gonna always go Billy's way? No, right? And then the sheriff came, and what did you think that the sheriff was gonna do? He said, this man's really kind, and like how do you think that the marshal here, like after hearing 2 years, do you think that he sort of was affected the same way as Grandpa? Yeah, right? And if you had been the marshal, what would you have done to all those boys? I would have warned them. If they didn't get into line, I was gonna send them to juvenile hall. You know, I have that kind of power, you know? It would be so fun. Okay. But anyway, so after this, do you think that Billy's ever gonna be afraid of the marshal again? I don't think so, right? He's never gonna be afraid with the marshal. Anyway, so do you think that Billy's actually gonna get home? You know, his dogs are so heavy. Do you think that he's gonna get there? I mean, I was worried about them. Do you like the boy dog better or the girl dog better? Like, what's more of your type? Are you the kind of person who are strong and brave, but don't have you know? Or, and you know, bold and a little aggressive and muscles, right? Chest broad. Or are you the kind of person who is a little timid, but still, or are you the kind of person who's just really smart, but a little timid? Well, I have to say I'm not athletic. Yeah, I'm not athletic at all. So but I'm gonna have to think of, you know, I'm not athletic. Let me just tell you that. I don't have any muscles. Look, do you see any muscles here? I don't, so I'm pretty sure you don't either. Okay, but anyway, so who do you think is gonna become a better hunting dog, or do you think they're both gonna be equally good? They're both gonna be equally good. And what's your estimate on how many coons that you know, Billy's gonna get? I maybe like 100, over 100. You know, he's gonna get so much. So one thing I want to talk about was if you heard a screaming lady, a screaming woman, right? A woman screaming, how would you have felt? Well, I would have felt terrified. I would have almost fainted, you know? I would be like, I would have also begun to scream, but of course it's not actually a woman. It's actually just a mountain lion. Not just either. It's a terrifying mountain lion. And so do you think that, you know, what did you think that the mountain lion was gonna do? And if you had been Billy, how would you have reacted? Well, I thought the mountain lion was gonna try to kill them. If I had been Billy, well, I would have, you know, the dogs would have barked and barked. That would have been helpful a little. And then I would have tried to build up the fire and maybe put some sticks by the fire so I could like attack you with fire. You know, like set his hair to fire or something. Not very sure. You know, something like that maybe. But anyway, so do you think that the dog, you know, these two dogs are gonna kill all of them because, you know, all together they might get all hurt, right? And or not. What do you think? Do you think that these dogs are helping or not? So I have a question. Like in here, you know, in the title page for me here, in the cover, what do you think that this scene here is depicting? You know? What do you think that the characters are doing here? Just running around? What do you think they're doing? Maybe hunting, right? Hunting for coons at night, you know, in the Ozark Mountains. That's what I guessed. And I think that my guess is gonna come true. We're just gonna have to wait until next time. So guys, I hope that you had a great time with me. A few last questions and then we have to go, okay? 1, what was your favorite part in the chapters that we read so far? The beginning all the way to chapter 5, 1 to 5. I just can't choose, but maybe when I don't know, either the dogs or the sheriff. Both are amazing. But I just like the whole book, really. Now, what was your favorite character? Billy, what was your least favorite character? I don't know, but I have a few least favorite characters. All of them are from the town, the mean boys, the snooty, snooty womans, all of them. So, now another thing I wanted to talk about was, what was your, how did you like the book, okay? Because I love this book. Yeah, I've read the book 2 times, and it's amazing. I just get a little teary-eyed after this. It's so emotional. I know that you're gonna love Where the Red Fern Grows. I loved it, okay? Hope that you do too. And so I really love it. And you can use a few words to describe this book. Miraculous, amazing, wonderful. Few words that came into my mind. Or a simile, okay? Now we are done with today's chapters, right? And so, now, what's the prediction? Like, do you think that, the mom and dad are gonna take this lightly? Do you think that they're even gonna allow these 2 these 2 hounds? How do you think that they're gonna begin? When do you think that they're gonna begin to hunt? And do you think that they're gonna get a lot of coons? And just that the coon hunting, that's adventures, but something else might happen. What do you think that might be? Everything's getting so exciting, right? And now you can also ask yourself a few questions. And also, one really fun activity that you can do is maybe research about one thing in this book. And it could be maybe the Ozark Mountains, it could be about dogs, it could be about lots of things, okay? You could even do, it could be anything, one mention. Remember, you know how Grandpa gave Billy a lot of candy, and one of the candy was just wait 1 second, and so I'm just gonna get to that part here, and oh yes, okay, here it is, okay, now. Wait 1 second. Yes, here it is. So one of the things he had was there were peppermint sticks, jawbreakers, whorehound, and gumdrops, right? And so that was just mentioned once. Well, just from that gumdrops, you can do the history of gumdrops or a whole paper just about gumdrops. You can do anything here, just a paper about anything in this book, just about gumdrops. It doesn't matter in the book, but it is in the book, so you can do it. That's what I mean. You can do whatever you want, at least if it's in the book, okay? Okay, now we're just truly finished with chapters 1 to 5 in Where the Red Fern Grows. I hope that you had an amazing time with me. Yeah, and so have a great rest of your day or night, because I always want to be fair to the people who are at nighttime. And just keep on reading this book and all the other books in the world. There's so many. You're just gonna become smarter, and there's no more. And you're just gonna love all the books out there. And just have a great rest of your life. Be wonderful. Be colorful. And just be amazing, okay? You can do whatever you want, okay? You're free. Now, so yeah, again, I hope that you really enjoy being with me, and